Hi everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm filming this on Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great time. That's why I wore red today in honor of Valentine's Day. As promised, I am going to set about today making Ozark, Hillbilly, Springfield, Missouri, cashew chicken. Now, I'll tell you a little something about cashew chicken. I've gone to Asian restaurants out here in Vegas. I lived in LA for about 10 years. I go over there. I went to Kansas City one time, and invariably when you go into an Asian restaurant, you see cashew chicken. Well, if you're from the Ozarks in my part of the country, your mind goes, ooh, cashew chicken, yeah. Well, it's not the same kind of cashew chicken as we have back home. So I'm setting out to make Ozark style, Hillbilly style, more better than good cashew chicken. It's a little involved, so come back here in a second. I'm gonna have everything set up and we'll go from there, okay? Okay, we're back. You know, I've said in the past, and if you've watched other videos of mine, I've said in the past that I don't measure anything. That's a lie. Gonna be truthful here. There's some things that if you don't measure a little bit and then kvetch a little bit, they're gonna be not as good as they could be. So you use specifics, you use certain things, certain ingredients, and that's what I'm gonna tell you about right now. This is a 3-process dish. 3 different processes go through making this dish. You have your sauce, you have your rice, and you have your chicken, okay? So let's start with the sauce. We're gonna go with the sauce first, and I'm gonna show you the sauce is the most important part of this whole dish, because with that crappy sauce, it's not gonna be worth anything. So you need to know that. So I'm gonna show you how you start off with your sauce. And your sauce has specifics. And I have my recipe on here that I go by. So I'm gonna tell you how the sauce that I've made in the past that my family likes and enjoys. And I got to tell you a quick story. Okay, I know I'm full of stories, but I lived in LA for about 10 years, and there was a group of us in LA who were from Springfield, Missouri. A lot of actors are from Springfield. Well, some actors are from Springfield, Missouri. And we would get really hungry for food from back home. Back then, they didn't have Sonic drive-ins in LA. There were certain things that we wanted when we, it was like, oh yeah, I want it. One of them was cashew chicken. And I was the one that would make it. And there were about 8 to 10 of us who would get together from time to time, and I'd make big cashew chicken dishes, and I would always make crab rangoon. Well, I'm not going to make crab rangoon this time, but cashew chicken was the dish that I was kind of known for, and am kind of known for back home with my family and friends. So I'm going to tell you how we do the sauce now, and the little tips that I'm going to give you are kind of important. I think, maybe not, but I think they are. Okay, first of all, you start off with 2 cups of chicken broth. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I go with chicken broth, 2 cups, says here. So we're going to measure that in our, there we go. And then we're going to go a little more. Just a little. In fact, I'm going to finish off that. Because although you do want to make sure that you kind of stick to the recipe, you also need to learn how to learn not to stick to the recipe, to punt. If all else fails, punt. So I add a little more because there's something else that's going to take place down the line here, and I'm going to tell you about it. You add that to your pot. this is a 3-pot process. And you can see over here that I've got 3 pots going. And I'm going to add this to my larger pot because I hope that that's going to turn out to make a little more than I need. But okay, so we've got 3 pots, so we're going to turn our stove on and get that going. To that 3 pots, we're going to take a tablespoon of sugar. Tablespoon of sugar. We're going to add that to that chicken broth. You don't want any more than that because you don't want this. This is not a sweet sauce. It is definitely a. It's definitely not a sweet sauce. So please be certain that you kind of steer away from putting any more sugar in there than that. Next, you're going to put 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Any kind of soy sauce is good. I happen to have Tamaray soy sauce. We have a lot of Asian grocery stores out here that I go to, and they're really, you can go in and buy some things that you can't buy in normal grocery stores. They also have Mexican grocery stores. They have, if you're going to prepare the dish that is the culture that you're going to prepare, it's good to have the kind of things that they would, the culture that you're preparing would also use. So I like to go in and find things that I know that culture is using. So we've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce to this. So there's, and I'm going to turn my heat down because I don't want it to get, I'm going to turn it to about medium. Well, medium to low, okay? And there's another tablespoon of our soy sauce. Now, to that, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. I was going to go out, I have a big thing of oyster sauce, but I'm going to show everybody the oyster sauce here that I'm using today. I've used this many times in the past. I think it's one of the better ones. Like I said, I went to an oyster, and you can get this in any Asian aisle, any Asian food section. So we're going to add our 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce to it. There's 1, and there's 2, and there's a little for good luck. Okay, take your little spoon. That's why I always use metal when I'm measuring, because if you have something hot, you can put it into the hot base. If you have plastic, you really don't want to do that. So I use metal measuring cups. I find they're better. Okay, now we kind of have the base of our sand. We also need about 1 teaspoon. And I'm not going to measure that. I know what 1 teaspoon is, and so does everybody else. That's about a teaspoon. And maybe a little more, but you know what? Not. There we go. A teaspoon of pepper. Put that in there. Now we've got to turn that up. We're going to mix it up too. We're going to take a spatula and kind of mix it up. Get it going. That might have been just a little too much pepper, but you know what? It's okay. We're going to turn that up just a little bit. And let that cook. Let that, all of those combinations come together. Cook. This sauce, like I said, is very, very important. Without a good sauce, you're up the creek without a paddle. I hope everybody's having a good Thanksgiving. Like I said, I'm having a fantastic Thanksgiving. Didn't get anything, but that's okay. A week and a half ago, I've been hinting that it'd sure be nice to have a 70-inch TV in the bedroom where we could watch at the end of the bedroom. Guess what I got? Now, some might say it's because it was the Super Bowl. No, it was because I've been hinting that I wanted a 70-inch. So I figured that's my Valentine's Day gift, and I'm okay with that. Okay, come on, let's come to a boil. Once that's come to a boil, I'm going to show you what you do next. I have 4 tablespoons of just plain old cornstarch, okay? I am adding that cornstarch, take that out of the way, take this out of the way. I'm adding that cornstarch to cold water, about 2/3 cup cold water, cold. Very important. If you were to put this cornstarch into hot water, guess what happens? There's a reaction. It actually curdles. Right there we have a nice milky, uncurdled, see it? Sauce base. Get that nice and stirred up. And to that, we're going to add that to our oyster sauce. And then we're going to stir. It has right now a kind of hot chocolate or coffee with a lot of cream in it look. As it cooks down, you'll notice it changes a little bit in color. You'll notice that it gets a little darker. It's a little bit darker here, and I'll switch over here so you all can see. And like any gravy or sauce, you want to stir. You want it to thicken up, and it will with that cornstarch in there. Should start thickening up. It's on medium heat, medium to a little high, not real high, but medium high. And just stir that around. Okay, folks, remember I told you that it was a light creamy look. Well, cooking it for approximately 5 minutes, I had to stand here and stir it. You can now see the darkness that it's gotten to, which is perfect. You want it about that color, and you see how nice and thick it is. It's not real thin and it's not real thick. It's just that perfect sauce. And you'll feel it. It's not a thin sauce, and it's not a thick sauce. It's just that in between. Okay? Hi everybody, welcome back. Hey, if you haven't already gone on and subscribed to my channel, Pamela Pace at Pure Pamela. No, Pamela Pace at Pure Pam. Please do so, please. I'm doing this for fun, and I'm doing it for other reasons, but I'd like to hear what you have to say about this. I'm kind of floundering out there going, oh, well, is this just silly, or is there people paying attention to it? So if you are, please let me know. Please let me know. I'm getting some good feedback from friends, but I want to know if you who don't know me are watching it and saying, hey, that's pretty interesting. That's the kind of thing I want to watch. Anyway, as I told you, I don't measure anything. Well, again, I'm going to go back and fess up that there are certain things that I do measure. When I lived in LA, I was lucky enough to have lived with 3 different Cubans. Cuban people make the most fantastic food. Oh my gosh, if you've never had Cuban food, I highly suggest you go find a good Cuban restaurant and eat it. It's phenomenal. But I had a roommate, B, and if you go on my channel, you can see her terrific recipe. She was out here a couple of years ago, and she made oxtail. And so it's on my channel also. Go on and view it. But she taught me how to make the perfect rice. They all say there's no, if you follow these directions, I promise you, your rice is going to come out perfect Chinese, Asian style to put with your mixture, with your cashew chicken. Every time it's going to come out perfect. So this is the key. This is the key. I have a pot here, and I'm going to bring this over so that you can kind of watch what I'm doing over here as I put things in. I have a pot. There's a glare there. I'm trying not to get that glare. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Oh well, okay. I have a pot. To that pot I am adding, I'm going to go with 2 cups of rice. So with that 2 cups of rice, I need 4 cups of water. 2 to 1. 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. 3 cups of rice, 6 cups of water. Do you see what I'm saying? 2 to 1. The 2 to 1 ratio. I'm putting my water in here. Exact. It's an exact proportion. And I'm turning my it on kind of high. Now to that, B never taught me this part of it, but I've tried it and I like it, so I do it and I don't care. It doesn't take anything away from it, just adds a little different flavor to it. I like garlic. We like garlic. Like I said, you don't want to overwhelm it. I do about 1/2 of a teaspoon, and I put it in my water. Just drop it in your water. And then, to that, I add a dash of oil. And I mean a dash, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Boom. Plenty. Not very much. Just enough to, when that rice boils and comes together, it comes out, it flux a little better. Okay? So we're going to let that come to a boil, which it shouldn't take very long. And then you want to make sure that you have a lid, a good seal-tight lid for your rice. Very important, because you were going to shut that off and it's got to be sealed up. My water is on high. So we want to get that boiling, get it going. We'll put, as soon as that water boils, we'll put that rice in there, put the lid on the rice, turn your burner down to the lowest you can get it, and look at your clock and set it for 30 minutes exactly. Go to your stove if you have a clock on your stove or wherever. I'm about to do that here in a second. 30 minutes exactly. Very important. When you take that lid off, I assure you, you're going to have perfect rice. I'm telling you. So I'm going to go on and finish this up, and then we'll go to the 3rd stage of what cashew chicken is all about. The chicken, the actual chicken. So here we go. Hi everybody, we're back. Okay, now we're going to get to the 3rd step. This seems like it's a little involved, and it is, but you know what? In the long run, it's going to be so worth it. Trust me, this is such a good dish. When I went to the store to purchase my chicken, you can get it in all kinds of different ways, and usually I get it the full breast. But for this, the purpose of this video, I got these little tenders, chicken breasts, little tender chicken breasts, and what I've done is I've cut them into bite-sized pieces. You can see the size of piece that I have cut them into. I'm cutting them, and make sure they're good and washed. Chicken, when you work with chicken, you always want to use the same cutting board. You never want to cross, because contamination. So if you have a cutting board that's you've cut vegetables on, you're going to cut vegetables on, you don't want to do that. Very unsanitary. Make sure your chicken's good and washed off and cleaned off well. My mom's a fanatic about that. She usually, I'll throw her into the kitchen and say, when I'm at home and making this dish for everybody, I'll say, guess what? You get to clean up. You get to cut up the chicken. That's the one thing I'm really not into. But she does such a good job of it. She's 89 years old, and by golly, she's still going strong, but she wants her chicken good and clean. She doesn't like a dirty chicken. I don't blame her. Okay, we're almost there. We've almost got them all cut up. So they're all cut up. I'm going to come right back. Pardon me. I'm going to come right back and show you how we mix up our flour mixture and what I'm going to do with this chicken now that I've got it cut up and cleaned. Come back. Okay, we're back again. And I'm going to show you the flour mixture and how to prepare it. The flour mixture is one of those things that I really don't measure. But I'm doing it for the sake of everybody who, for that amount of chicken that we have there, about 2 cups. Because you want every piece of that to be nice and coated. And you know what? There at the end, we may need to add a little more to the mixture, but that's okay. So we've got 2 cups. Okay, going back to that garlic. I'd say about a tablespoon. Throw that in there. Now, you've heard me in the past talk about Tony Checheri. Ooh, baby, Tony Checheri. If you don't have Tony Checheri at home, in your cupboard, in your spice drawer, I highly suggest you go and purchase it. Because if you like Cajun food, if you like Creole food, if you like Southern food, if you like soul food, you're going to like Tony Checheri. Tony Checheri gives you that kick that you need. Now, you know, you're saying to yourselves, well, you know, that's not Asian. Oh, but it is. If you've tasted some Asian foods, they have a little kick to them. They have a little to them. They like garlic. They like spices. Asians are, you know, they got good palates too. So, Tony Checheri. Now, for Tony, here, I'm going to show you this. Wait a minute. Let me turn it. Let me turn this around. You see that? Ooh, yeah. Yeah. You won't even really taste it. I promise you, you won't even really taste it. You won't know what you're tasting. You'll think, well, that sure does taste good, but I don't know why. Because right there is the reason. Okay. Gonna put a little onion. As that old Cajun would say, this is gonna be more better than good. More better than good. Okay, and I have some Santa Maria style seasoning. I like my chicken, my fried chicken, to be nice and I like it. And I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper in there, about a teaspoon. Okay, this is one of them I get in there with my fingers and mix that all around, all them good spices, all that good stuff has to come together and meld together, as I say. Okay? Okay, we're about to start the final process. Let's turn that right there. Okay, so we've got our chicken that we've coated. We've got our egg and milk mixture, and I haven't told you about that. Guess I should. Egg and milk mixture, comprised of 2 eggs, typically about a half a cup of milk. Didn't have milk. My husband's on a keto diet. I don't drink milk that much. I'm lactose intolerant, but I do, he does, and I do both use heavy cream. So I put about 2/3 cup of heavy cream. Maybe not that much, about a half a cup. But my 2 eggs and, okay. Now, I have my mixture of flour here. I've got my chicken here. I've got my egg and milk mixture here. What we're going to do, our oil is nice and hot over here. I'm going to make sure it's turned to about medium. It's ready to go. So what we're going to do, it's a step-by-step process. We're going to take a couple of these pieces of chicken, dip them in that. So you can do it like this. I do it one hand in the chicken, one hand in the flour. Coat them around. One hand in the chicken, one hand in the flour. Do about, I don't know, 10 pieces of it. Hand in the chicken, one hand in the flour. A couple of them there. And in the chicken, one hand in the flour. We're going to do two batches of this. So I'm going to pull these apart, put them in there. There we go. Got them all coated. Now they're over here in the flour, where you'll only have flour on one hand and you'll only have chicken and milk on the other hand. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks like they're good and coated. Oh yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay. Let me show you what that's going to look like, but I got to wash my hands real quick. Bear with me. You see how that chicken is coated? I'm going to make sure it's good and coated. We're going to bring it over here to our hot oil. It's been cooking. And you're going to see, looky there, how that goes. That's going to crisp up nice. So you just drop your pieces in there, like so. Good and hot, ready to go. I'm going to finish doing these, and then I'll be back with you, okay? Okay, our chicken's still cooking over here a little bit, the rest of it. But I wanted to show you all the rice and how the rice turned out. Turned it off at 30 minutes exactly. 30 minutes to the minute. Let me show you the rice. Perfect, it's fluffy, it's flaky. Perfect made fluffy rice. It's going to go great for this cashew chicken. I'm going to let it cool down. You want to fluff it up a little bit in the pan after you turn it off. Just let it set over here. We'll get to it in a few minutes. I'll be back with you, okay? Okay, everybody, we are back. We are going to put our dish together of cashew chicken and let you see what it should look like. I didn't tell you earlier that green onions, about a stalk of green onions on the side, cut up, chopped up. Cashews, important. I like cashews. Now, some people don't like the cashew part on it. Some people don't like the green onion part. Man, I think that's what makes it. Between the cashews and the green onions, you got to have both as far as I'm concerned. The gravy also. But, okay, so what we're going to do is put this together. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like all put together. Let me get a spoonful of this great, fabulous, terrific, perfectly done, I might add, perfectly done rice. To that, we're going to add our chicken. Chicken, look at that. Oh yeah. Put you some chicken on there because you're going to want to eat until you can't eat anymore and then eat some more. Because it's so good. Oh, it's going to be so good. I tell you, this is really, really good with crab rangoons, which I will show you in the future how I make my crab rangoons. And they do have crab, unlike the crab rangoons in St. Louis, Missouri. My crab rangoons actually do have crab in them. So I'll make some crab rangoons for you. and I will make some wontons, how I make wontons, but I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to show you how this is supposed to look. So your next step then would be your gravy. Oh yeah, pour that gravy all over that. Oh yeah, I like gravy. I like mine to have, I like it to be saucy. So, and my mom does too. Then we're gonna take our green onions, sprinkle all over the top of that. All over there and there and that. And then top it off with cashews. There it is. Pam's rendition of cashew chicken. Make you want to slap your mama. Mo better than good. I'm loving doing this. I'm loving it. I can't tell you how much I am enjoying it. While I was off the air here for just a second, I got a text from a couple of old friends of mine, Peggy and Les Wilson. I hope you're watching me on my YouTube channel. A shout out. I haven't talked to them in many years, but it was so cool to see them, that they'd been watching some of my videos back home in Springfield, Missouri. If they're still living in Springfield or Ozark, they were living somewhere. Anyway, good to hear from you. All of you people from back home, please let me know if you're watching this and if you're having a good time. I've had a couple people say yes, they have. Subscribe. I just ask that you subscribe, and I ask that you share it. Share it with your friends. Share my website, Pamela Pace. I've got to get this straight. Pamela Pace at Purely Pam on YouTube. Okay, folks. Until next time, I'm going to show you a little bit of my Valentine's decorations that I'm going to have to take down this week, and that's going to be my next video. I believe it's going to be later on in the week, but I think I'm going to do a video on how you change seasons. We're going into spring. Yeah, spring is almost here. Thank God. I know you people back home are saying, man, I wish it would hurry up and get its butt here, but it's almost here. I hate to tell you, it's about 65, 67 out there today. That's why we moved to Las Vegas. But I'm going to change out. I like to change out things, and like I've told you in the past, I'm a Goodwill bargain hunter, so I go to Goodwill and I get all my decorations and then I change them out. So I'm going to take you over here and show you some of my Valentine decorations I'm going to take down, and then next time we're going to do some maybe spring, getting ready to go into spring. So here we go. Let me show you. Okay, well, I had done the black and white checked for my Christmas decorations, some of my Christmas decorations. I didn't want to take it all down. I kind of like that black and white check. So I went with I kept the black and white check up there, and I thought I could throw some red in and make it look halfway decent. So that's my little rack here, my butcher's rack, and then my tablecloth. I still had the black and white checked, but I added a little love is in the air. Over there is my little pillows about love.